Hello there, welcome to All Things Chadwick. Just as I started to make this video, Cooper decided to join me, so he may stay or he may leave, but he's just comfy for now. Happy Juneteenth. Today is Monday, the 19th of June. I understand it's a federal holiday and has been for the last 2 years, I believe, since 2021. I've heard people in the last couple of years say, Juneteenth? What in the world's that all about? These black people, just another reason to get off work. I'm sure some of you have heard similar things or even worse things. Even by, some people who may be a little more liberal minded or a little more open minded. They, for some reason, their mind goes directly to, when it has to do with minorities, they take that negative path. I'm not quite sure why. I don't understand why you want to immediately be unkind about a person or a group of people. A few weeks ago, and I'll just say it like it is, I'm not looking for pity or sympathy or empathy, nor do I expect to get any. But I was the victim of someone being really unkind to me, really rude to me, and almost like verbally abusive, accosting. And it's caused me to do a lot of thinking lately about why people are unkind, including why there have been times in my life that I may be unkind or not as friendly as I should be, or not as inclusive as I should be. And so I guess my point is, I understand that a lot of minorities suffer similar circumstances. Immigrants, the LGBTQIA plus community, certainly the African American community, the Asian community, the alter-abled or disabled community. I could name others. I could name many, many, many other minority groups of people that are not treated well. Not that they not only don't have the same liberties and freedoms and rights, but they're treated unkindly on a regular basis. But today, particularly talking about people whose ancestors were enslaved, and even enslaved after slavery had been abolished, where white people took advantage of the ignorance or kept people out of the know just so that they could maintain them as property. And while I've been thinking about that today, there is a poet. His name is Langston Hughes. I think he was born in the 20s. I'm pretty sure he died in the late 60s. An activist, a musician, and an incredible individual. He wrote a poem that I looked up earlier that I want to share with you. Now, it does have inflections that are traditionally, the verbiage, the words are as a mother would have spoken, an African American mother, a black mother would have spoken to her son probably in the 40s, 50s, maybe even earlier, 30s. So some of this will sound a little unusual for today for some people. And by no means am I being disparaging toward African American dialect. This is just how Langston Hughes wrote the poem. It's called Mother to Son. And as I read this poem, I considered even my own life. I've had a really good life, don't get me wrong. Let me highlight some positives real quick. I grew up what I would consider to be in a very well-to-do family. Our home the little, what we would have called back then kind of a gated community. Not that there was a gate up, but it was, we had a wonderful upbringing. But I felt forced to hide the fact that I was gay. I was treated very poorly in elementary school after about the third, fourth grade. I was treated very, very poorly by many people in middle school. And I was treated very poorly. In a minute, maybe I'll use other terms, but in high school. And in high school, I decided in college and in my adult life, never again. Not without saying something, not without doing something. I am not going to be treated poorly. And the reality is, it was pretty horrific at times, even by sometimes educators who went along with it, or people even at church that went along with the negative treatment of people who were different, or people who were a different color, and then particularly people who were what they would have called sissy or gay, queer, or even the F word. But as I read this poem, it made me think about, yes, my life has been pretty great, and even my life as an adult with my husband now for the last 20 years. We have a comfortable, beautiful home. We get to travel a few times a year. We have anything and everything that we want. We really live like kings, even though I wouldn't consider us rich by any means. But we're grateful. But we still, I live in a family that has mixed race, and we deal with our difficulties relative to the fact that we're a gay family and we're mixed race. Let me move on. Mother to Son by Langston Hughes. And this is in remembrance of and in honor of today being Juneteenth, 2023. Langston Hughes wrote, Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it, and splinters, and boards torn up, and places with no carpet on the floor, all bare. But all the time, I's been a-climbing on, and reaching landings, and turning corners, sometimes even a-going in the dark where there ain't been no light. So boy, don't you turn back, and don't you sit down on the steps, 'cause you'll find it's kind of hard. And don't you fall now, for I's still going, honey. I's still climbing. And life for me ain't been no crystal stair. I see people every day, whether it's at Lowe's or the market or walking on the side of the road, the street, in town, or people sitting on their porches as I drive through the city. And I can only imagine, because of my African American friends who've shared stories with me, they are affronted with negative looks, comments, attitudes, vibes every single day if they go out their door into public, or if they turn on their social media, or if they flip on the TV or the radio. Racism, bigotry, all these forms of hate are alive and well. And maybe even you who are watching maybe you've been one of the people that have made derogatory remarks about Juneteenth or Black History Month or Martin Luther King Jr. Day, or your neighbor, or the person that cuts the lawn, or the person that opened a shop who does hair. I could go on and on and on. I hope that I and my husband, our children, can find ways to be loving, kind, accepting, joyful with people of all colors, backgrounds. And I hope that you will consider, how could I be a better person by being kinder, loving, accepting, embracing all kinds of people. Now, on a lighter note, if you're the kind of person that, no, I just want my cornflakes in the morning, and I'm not ever going to try a Pop-Tart, and I don't want pancakes, and I don't this, and I don't that, and I'm going to live out here on rural Route 9, because I'm 73 and I'm not changing, then you're probably not going to change your attitudes or ways, and you're probably not seeking to be kinder or more loving. And not only Oprah Winfrey, but other people, black and white people in all colors, have said sometimes the only solution is to wait for the old white people or people of any color who are closed-minded and want to remain ignorant. Just wait for them to die. Thanks for watching All Things Chadwick. I love you, I truly do. See you soon.